Today I rise to speak against Senate Bill 353. We talk about equality, we talk about opportunity in this chamber, Mr. Speaker. Those are words that float around very easily throughout this chamber. And if this is about equality and giving Michiganders a fair shot and making sure every Michigander has an opportunity to build a better life, I don't understand how we're doing that through this legislation. This bill right here does nothing to help working class families. And my colleagues and I, through the past couple of days, even on second reading, have tried to introduce amendments to improve these bills. They were shot down. It helps no one. No working family is helped in this bill. You refused our amendments, and now we're left with a bill that rigs the rules against Michiganders. That's what this bill does. Those returning from society or returning to society from prison should have the opportunity to explain their history to an employer instead of being thrown around and having their application passed aside. I was looking up quotes about opportunity, and I came across one by George W. Bush, out of all folks. And it talks about America is a land of second chance, and those returning from prison should have the path to be able to start a new life. Well, Mr. Speaker, I don't understand how these bills do that. When people are constantly discriminated against based on something they've been through, and they come out and we say they paid their debt to society, and then they don't have an environment that's conducive for them to even gain employment, what was the point of pouring millions of taxpayer dollars into educational programs in our correctional facilities? It's a waste of taxpayer dollars if there is not an environment that is conducive enough for folks who are returning citizens to be able to come home and get a job simply at McDonald's. This bill does nothing to help workers trying to provide for their families by finding a better paying job, and they should not be held back by employers asking about salary history and basing an offered wage on the toughness of times instead of the value of their own experience and qualifications. We all grew up, hearing that if you worked hard, you could better yourself and get ahead. I know the old statement goes, particularly on the conservative side, that we've got to pull each other up, or you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What about those folks that don't even have boots to start with, Mr. Speaker? This bill promises the opposite. It does not provide opportunity. And this bill says that no matter how you work, that these rules are going to be rigged against you. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not about denying my constituents or any Michigander opportunities. I'm not about denying local units of government who are elected, by the way, just like we are, the freedom to pass ordinances and do what they believe is best for their residents and their local economy. We talk about less government. I hear that so much on the other side. What if the feds came in and just decided that we're going to run the state of Michigan, and state representatives and state senators wouldn't have the opportunity to be the voice of their constituents? So ultimately, Mr. Speaker, I'm not for this bill. This is a very bad bill. Does not help our economy, does not help our workers, does not help our families here in Michigan. I cannot vote in favor of something that infringes on local control, that keeps our citizens down by punishing workers who are trying to increase their earnings, and that ensures that reform inmates are unable to get a fresh start and contribute to our local economy. Therefore, for all those reasons, Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to join me in the opposition of Senate Bill 353. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.